Hello, thank you for joining. My name is Kaylee and this is the Tea House, and today we are going to be making applesauce from fresh apples. I am also going to do my best to can said applesauce. I am not a canner. I have canned successfully a total of one recipe, which I did not video. I wanted to make sure that I did it correctly and there were no absolute disasters. So I'm definitely going to try canning this applesauce, as well as making some apple juice from the peels and cores of this apple, or of these apples. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have about 8 pounds of apples here. They're organic, but they do still have that waxy finish on them. So I'm going to rinse them under really, really hot water and then wipe them with a rag to try to get as much of that wax off as possible. Then I'm going to take my apple core. It doesn't hook to, it doesn't like suction to the countertop anymore. So if this works, great. If not, I will be apple peeling and coring by hand. So I hope you enjoy this process. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I will be putting the cores and the peels in my Instapot pot, and I will be putting the apple slices in just this, I don't know, we call it the pasta pot, this Dutch oven, this large stainless steel pot. So the apple core and peeler was an utter disappointment. It totally came off. So I'm going to be hand peeling and chopping these. I won't put you through that boredom, but I will be back when I am finished. Now that I am done peeling and coring all of those apples, I have them in this stock pot. That's what that's called. Over here, they're going to saute, and I am going to add about 6 cups of water to this Instapot. This is a 6-quart Instapot, and this is just slightly above half. My thought in the making of the apple juice is these peels and cores we're going to be put in the compost bin anyway, so if making apple juice works, great. And if making apple juice doesn't work, then they're still going to go into the compost bin. I feel that I can at least try and hopefully get a second product out of this. So I'm going to add 6 cups of water to this Instapot pot and then put it on high for, I'm guessing, about half an hour, and then let it natural release. In the meantime, while the apples are cooking down and the Instapot is doing its job, I am going to start dinner for tonight. I am making a double batch of chili for dinner tonight, but then also I'm going to be freezing a big portion of that, because when baby boy comes, I want to make sure that we have plenty of freezer meals available in the freezer that we can just pull out and eat pretty quickly. I also forgot to mention, into the apples, I added 3/4 of a cup of water, 3 tablespoons of bottled lemon juice, and 1 cup of sugar. I followed one of the ball recipes that I found in one of my ball canning cookbooks, and I just adjusted it for however many pounds of apples that I had. All right, next thing we are going to do is we are going to chop up 1 onion and put the chopped up onion and 2 pounds of ground beef in this big stock pot here. This is what I'm going to be making my chili in. If I had another onion, I would put 2 onions, but I only have 1. As I was grabbing the chili powder from the spice cabinet, I found this gigantic container of cinnamon sticks. So I'm going to toss 2 of these cinnamon sticks into the apples. Alright, so we need about a tablespoon of chili powder per batch, and well, I'll leave a little bit in there. My Azure standard order has not yet come in, so garlic powder, just to taste. I would say about a teaspoon per batch. salt to taste, about a teaspoon per batch, and pepper, a lot of it. If I didn't have onions, fresh onions, I would use onion powder. A stir, get those cinnamon sticks submerged. Oh yeah, these guys are falling apart. I used Gala apples. That was the only thing that I could find that was organic and a reasonable price. So I always add these spices in now before I add my beans, because I want to make sure that those spices have time to bloom in the fat of the ground beef as it's cooking. Alright, I'm going to go out to my pantry, which is my canned food storage, and get hot chili beans, regular chili beans, and canned diced tomatoes. I need one 28-ounce can of each for this recipe, and I'm doubling it, so I'm going to have two 28-ounce cans of each. I was in the garage. It turns out that I don't have exactly what I need, but that's okay, because we are going to improvise. So, I have a giant can. This is 40 ounces of just a regular chili bean. So we're going to be putting that in. I only have 2 cans of hot chili beans, so that is essentially one batch. Then I have 2 cans of pinto beans, and then I have the 2 28-ounce cans of diced tomatoes. So I'm going to put all of these in. I'm going to make sure to rinse the pinto beans, and then I'm going to taste it and adjust for seasonings, because I don't have that additional hot chili beans. I'm probably going to be adding some cayenne pepper, some paprika, and maybe some more chili powder. My ground beef is cooked, my onions are softened, so I'm going to start adding the beans and the tomatoes. My applesauce is pretty well cooked. These apples are incredibly soft. I'm going to actually turn this off and put the lid on. Just push it to the back, because at the moment I have 2 very heavy items on my stove and it is a glass top, so I'm not going to be able to get to canning this applesauce right now. Couple additional things that I'm going to be adding to the chili are a can of tomato juice, and I grabbed a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce because the pinto beans that I used, I drained off all of the liquid, and we are going to still need some of that liquid to get this to be more of a chili consistency. And these 2 items I've had in my pantry for a little while, so I need to get them used. While this is slowly heating, I'm going to grab a spoon and taste for seasonings. This definitely needs more chili powder. I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper, some garlic powder, and some, well, I would add onion powder if I had it, but I don't. I'm also going to add some cumin. Last but not least, some more salt and pepper, and I think we'll be good to go. Alright, the lid is on and I have turned this down to low. This is going to simmer pretty much the rest of the day. I'm going to let these apples just sit here for a while until I can get this large heavy stock pot off of the stove, and then I will get to canning that applesauce. I will see you in just a little bit. Hello my friends, we are back. I have the water bath canner on the stove and this is coming up to temperature. I have my jars in there already. I am reheating the apples. Let's see if I can turn this. I'm reheating the apples here. I need to take out the cinnamon sticks, and then I'm going to puree them with the immersion blender, and then I am going to strain the apple juice. I haven't yet looked in the Instapot. It did go off maybe about an hour ago, and I've just not let it natural release until now. So I'm going to get that strained, and hopefully it tastes good. If not, I'll definitely let you know. All right. Oh, second more. That tastes really good. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to find a recipe that doesn't have any added sugar, but for now, as the second thing that I've ever canned, I'm just gonna go with the recipe that is currently in the canning book that I have. So I tasted the apple juice. It is slightly appley. It's not the best flavor, but I'm hoping that once I strain the apple cores and the apple peels off from the water, that it'll get maybe a little more intense in terms of apple flavor. If not, I won't worry about canning that. I will just use it for something and toss the cores and the peels in the compost. For now, pardon the barking dog. For now, I have a strainer that has some cheesecloth in it in a big bowl, and that is what I'm going to pour the Instapot pot into. That was hot. Okay. I guess I probably didn't really need the strainer, but that's okay. I wanted something that the cheesecloth could be able to, like, hold on to, so to speak. I'm going to put this back over the Instapot pot, just to continue draining some. I have plenty here. I'll be honest, this tastes just slightly of apple. I think I'm going to can all of the applesauce, and if I have any extra cans that I can put in the pressure or in the water bath canner, I'll do that. Otherwise, I will find another use for this. All right. So I have 4 pints. I'll put this one in the fridge for an hour. We're going to ready. Okay, these are go in the counter. And shooting apple juice, and we'll be adding probably a teaspoon of lemon juice just for safety. Once the canner comes up to boiling, I will process this for a total of 30 minutes. The recipe says process for 20 minutes and then adjust for altitude, which for my altitude here in the outskirts of Denver, that is an additional 10 minutes. I thank you so much for joining me on this first ever canning adventure. I hope to make more of these in the future when I get a little more comfortable with the whole process and how everything works. But for now, I have successfully made applesauce for the first time, and I have hopefully, fingers crossed, processed and canned this applesauce by the time that you see this video. I am now going to clean up the kitchen and get ready. My husband is about to be home, so I'm going to put a reusable lid on this applesauce here once it cools down a little more and put that in the refrigerator so that we can maybe have this for dessert tonight. I will be making just a really basic cornbread to go with our chili for dinner, and I hope that we have plenty of leftovers that I can put in the freezer as well. I'm sure that I will be back one more time tonight to show you cleaning up after dinner and getting that chili into freezer containers and put away so that when baby boy arrives in a couple months, we have plenty of meals put up that we can make quickly and not have to worry about relying on going out to eat. It is the end of the night here, and I just wanted to touch base and let you know what we accomplished today. We successfully canned 3 pints of apple juice, 4 pints of applesauce. I have some extras in the fridge as well. And then over here to go in the freezer, we have 2 quarts of chili and 6 pints of chili as well. I'll be putting freezer lids on these, labeling them, and getting them into the freezer. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this first canning adventure, and hopefully there are many more to come.